Well, thank you so much for joining me here. I know you as Max Lazar, but I understand now that that is not actually your name. That's just a name that we know you by in the Expression Engine community.
Yes, it's correct. It's a name which I chose in 2008 as my nickname. It's become my sort of the business name. So all Expression Engine community know me as Max Lazar. And just like in about 2 years ago, I started using my real name in web developing.
I see. So it was kind of to keep your real name hidden for a while, because I didn't even know what your name was until you came in for the speaker submission at Expression Engine conference.
Yeah, it's not many people know about this. What is my real name? And for me, web developing for a long time, it was sort of a hobby, professional, but still hobby, because my daily job was always related to the project management, people management. And for me, it was some kind of just a switch from my daily job, do some developing. It was done for fun. It's why I used nickname.
Yeah, so your real name is, I'm looking at the Expression Engine website, and I'm going to, please correct my pronunciation, but Oleg Abramov?
It's correct.
Okay, good. I got it right. Well, I was looking, as we were preparing to do this little chat, I was looking at the various add-ons that you put out, and I've actually used a lot of your add-ons over the years. MX Title Control, MX Stars Field, MX Cloner, MX Ajax Detect. Pretty sure I used Grid Light on something back in the day. MX Select Plus, MX CP Notice, MX Get ID3, which I used for a podcast site that I was doing in Expression Engine. So you have, and you have even more add-ons than that. Those are just the ones that I've used. So what kind of got you into that?
It was just interesting to make something what other people could use. So I did add-ons for 5 years. For me, it was really for fun. The only one complicated things in doing add-ons, you probably know about this, is how to make it flexible enough so other people could easily use it on different projects. And one extra level of complexity, especially for me, it's actually making good documentation for this. I have actually, so I was active for 5 years. Then I sort of run away from doing add-ons. One of the reasons was actually that I get a lot of the support requests for different add-ons. One of the most complicated add-on for supporting was MX Google Maps. Not because of add-ons as is, but because people requested ask a lot of questions how to use it, how to build the different map types. And it's a lot of hours. It's hundreds and hundreds hours of supporting, not add-on developing as is. So at one moment, I feel that I burned out, and I stopped developing the public add-ons. I still develop add-ons when it was needed for the company for whom I work. And now I'm trying to return back. I have a lot of add-ons, 1,000 add-ons, which is in my schedule, and I hope I can soon release them. We'll see how it will going.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that kind of burnout of add-ons, and I haven't quite reached it so much as I have a hard time balancing it with some of my other work. Like I do work in Expression Engine and other CMSs for my day job, but then to actually, at the end of the day, you look at your email and you got a support request for somebody, and at this point, most of my add-ons, all my add-ons right now are mature enough that it's like, oh man, that's going to be something to dig into because I've fixed all the easy stuff. So
yes, this is absolutely correct. And plus, I like the open source product and completely open source, a free product. So I didn't take any penny for these add-ons. And at one moment, it was a really strict balance between time which I can spend for relax, time which I need to spend for my family, for my growing. It was a lot of the conflicts.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely understand. Well, speaking of open source, last year Expression Engine went open source. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. I thought about how they could move forward. It's why I actually decided to return back to add-on developing, just to give community something more, not chance, but more reasons to return back to Express Engine.
So Expression Engine going open source actually, you would say, reignited your interest in the platform.
Correct. Well, it always was open source. It'd be correct. But now they become completely free.
Sure. Yeah. for sure. Yeah, well, you actually, I was looking, the domain that your plugins are on is eec.ms, so EECMS, which is the hashtag we often use on Twitter and stuff. How in the world did you acquire a domain like that?
Well, you will be surprised, but just about half a year ago, I opened the Twitter ESMS. So I give it to the Express Engine, to Alice Lab, when they decided to make Express Engine as open source.
Oh yeah. I remember. I remember seeing those tweets. Yes.
Yeah, so I own this domain for sorry, not domain. I own domain like for 9 years, and I own the Twitter for same time, I believe, starting from 2010.
Wow, that's something. So you have a presentation coming up at Expression Engine Conference that I'm super excited to hear about, because you're going to be talking about remote work and how that's beneficial for everyone, and how to manage remote workers. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It's so surprising. I wanted to go to Express Engine as a speaker for a long time. But all the time I thought that I will go in as something with developing topics. But this year I decided to share with the communities my experience as a manager, because I have experience with working with remote teams across the world for last 15 years. This one I decided to choose this topic because we live in a very amazing industry which mostly doesn't have any borders. You could get any talent across the world. But this is a great power. But like they say in any superhero, that if you have a great power, you have great response. Because working with remote people is not the same as working with the people in the office.
That's right, yeah.
You can work in different cities. You can work in different countries. Work in different cities as response how exactly you will involve people in the process, how you will give them tasks, how you will build all your processes. If you go to across the countries, to different countries, it's becoming more complicated because we all have different cultures, we all have different studies, and it's become more complicated.
For sure.
I would like to share this experience with people who want to, with agency who would like to grow and use this great sources for getting new talents.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this topic is super relevant because I've been remote now for about 4 years, and now I'm at HappyCog, and I'm remote there. I live in Tennessee. Their offices are in New York City, so I go up there. I've been up there once, and I'm sure I'll go up there once or twice more throughout the year. But I work remotely here in Tennessee, and I think in our industry, that is something that is extremely relevant because more than ever, the speed of the internet, the tools that we have available, the fact that we're working on the internet, like it just makes it opens our industry up more than any other industry to this remote work. And so I think it's super, super relevant. And I'm excited to hear kind of what your take is on managing a remote team, because you're absolutely right. It is a very different experience, and it was a little nerve-wracking even for me as a remote worker, not being from the management side, but from the worker side. Are they happy with what I'm doing? I can't have as quite the same interaction as I used to have when I was working physically at an agency.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you, because I know this as from side as I work for almost 3 years as a remote worker for the agency, and I also work for international companies. I work in an office, but all my colleagues was remotely, so I could start my day with my colleagues who is located in Australia, and end my work day with the people from the San Francisco office, as example. So yeah, it's a really excited experience. And I believe, again, I repeat myself, but it's great power for any companies who would like to grow.
Yeah, and I it's also a great opportunity as well. Great power, great responsibility, but also the opportunity not just to have a larger pool of talent to draw from, but also, as you say, to increase anytime you're increasing the diversity of the various types of people that you're bringing in, various perspectives, you're going to only see a benefit from that, in my opinion, of bringing in those different experiences. When you have one type of people working on a product, then there's a lot of blind spots, just as an example.
Yes, and plus it's also, if my topic will be helpful for agents, I believe it also will be helpful for people with whom they will work in the future. Because to be a remote worker, by yourself, that's also the challenge. And it's really great when your manager with whom you're working, they really understand what does it mean work remotely.
Yeah.
Because in many cases, when the manager tried to manage the remote people as the people in the office, it's nothing good happened. Same happened as with my add-ons experience. The people just burned out, and company and person lost something.
And I think there's also this may be tangential. I'm assuming your presentation probably won't address this too much or at all. But I found when I started working remotely, I had to put. I think not as many as some people. Some people talk about how they have to put themselves in a work mindset and they have to get dressed exactly right every morning and make sure they separate. I'm not quite that into it, but like there's definitely a routine that you have to get into, right? Of this is my work, now I'm stepping away from work, and I need to, just think about work differently because it's in the same location that I sleep and eat and be with my family now. So it can be very, very challenging to separate that.
Yeah, so if you want to be successful with this, you need to create some ceremony to create a good success workplace.
Absolutely.
I absolutely agree with this. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I am super excited to hear your talk. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be extremely beneficial to everyone, because there's the chances of you working today in a place where there's no remote work happening at all, even if it's just contract work. Like that's pretty rare in our industry now, I think. So I'm super excited to hear this topic.
Yeah, before the big companies is actually concentrated around the big university. Now people could choose where they want to go, to stay in Silicon Valley, or go to smaller cities like Charleston, for example, and work remotely for the company who they wanted to work for.
That's right. Well, yeah, and even if agencies don't have remote workers yet, maybe your presentation will help spur them into thinking about that, because when you don't consider remote opportunities for people who are working remotely, you kind of limit your talent pool, and then the people who are up at the higher end of the talent pool, then they're going to want to go where they want to go, and you might not have the opportunity to work with them. So
right, that's correct.
Yeah, I
absolutely agree with this.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to meeting you for the first time at Expression Engine Conference. That'll be a lot of fun because, like I said, I've used a lot of your add-ons, so getting to meet you is going to be a huge privilege.
Actually, I visited Expression Engine Conference twice. It was in 2010 in the Leiden, and in 2011 it was in New York.
Oh yeah, those were
in Invisible Dog.
Yeah, those were both before I started coming to Expression Engine Conference.
So yeah, nice. It will be really great to back to Expression Engine, and to the conference.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much, Max or Oleg, as I guess I should call you. It's been a real pleasure to chat with you, and looking forward to catching up with you at Expression Engine Conference.
Thank you very much for this call.